Hi, I'm Bob McLean. Thanks for checking out my cybersecurity channel. I'm going to start this segment a little differently. I am going to ask a philosophical question. You ready? Can anything, any system, ever be 100% secure? Nope. Doesn't matter what you spent on it. Doesn't matter what your salesman promised. 100% security is not attainable. And I'll get to that. Because I'm going to jump right to an expression that I learned from a guy I once worked with. He used it often, and I couldn't agree more. I'm totally stealing it. And it goes like this. No good decision ever follows a fundamentally flawed assumption. So if you assume that a system can be 100% secured, I'd argue that it's a fundamentally flawed assumption. And funding decisions for different aspects of a security program follow every assumption. So think about a system. It's running an operating system that's been written by hundreds, if not thousands, of people over time, all maybe varying skill levels, approaches. And the operating system is running a program that was written by hundreds, if not thousands, of people over time, managing billions of memory locations and hardware and interfaces and interface drivers and peripheral drivers, executing billions of instructions a second over thousands of servers, billions of interactions a second. There's one safe assumption, is that bugs are going to surface. And if there's another safe assumption you can make, it's that some of those bugs are going to lead to vulnerabilities. And a follow-on assumption I think is extraordinarily safe to make is that once a vulnerability surfaces, there's going to be someone standing there waiting to exploit it to steal something from you or me. So those are safe assumptions. Now let's talk about assumptions as they relate to a cybersecurity plan. I mean, a plan's going to cover your ability to identify all of your assets, identify first step. All right, so I identify your information assets. Make sure you don't have any, don't assume you don't have shadow IT. You might have shadow IT and you may be generating a data set of someone in your company is that you don't know about. That's not on the backup cycle. But identify your assets and your overall tolerance for risk. Okay? Identify, protect. Protect is where where most people assume all of your information security program is. And it's your firewalls, your edge devices, your anti-malware, and your antivirus, and all of the protection systems. But don't assume that the protect aspect should get 100% of your security funds, because there's the detect. Safe assumption. It's not if, but when you're going to get breached, or when you are breached. How will you detect it? What do you have in place to detect anomalies and anomalous behavior so that you can subsequently respond? Do you have your response plan? Do you need consulting help to develop your response plan? How would you mitigate an infected machine? And this is detection before everything is out of your reach with the final encryption. Ransomware operators take time to do the reconnaissance, and along the way they trip over things and they do leave a trail. Some of them are more crafty and they don't leave as much. So there's a wide array of experiences there. But don't assume, or check your assumptions. right? So at every phase. And when you identify and you have a response plan, how do you recover from it? Make sure your recovery program is, or the recovery aspect of your security program has received enough attention. Now, yeah, we're not going to be able to address everything and improve everything and fix everything in one funding decision. But we can identify the risk associated with the various gaps we find. And when we identify the risk, we can come up with reasonable ways to quantify it. And then spend security budget the most efficiently we can. So check your assumptions about your security program. If you don't have a formal security program, you have a lot of security related activities that fit into a program. And I can help you sort that out. I'd love to help you sort that out. Please drop me a note in LinkedIn. And until we speak, I hope you found this useful and I hope it helps.